This is the Blackstone 1554 36-inch Omnivore Griddle, and it has been the easiest way I have found to feed a lot of people quickly without juggling multiple pans. I get restaurant-style sear and a calm cooking experience, even when I am making several different dishes at once. I see it as a full-size outdoor flat top for people who actually cook outside a lot. I do family breakfasts, neighborhood burger nights, and quick weeknight stir-fry. If I just want a couple of hot dogs, I grab something smaller. When I need control, space, and repeatable results, I roll this out. The build matters more than it looks. The frame feels solid, and the griddle plate has enough mass to stay hot when I drop cold food. The stainless face cleans easily, the control knobs have a confident click, and the two side shelves fold up and down without fuss. The shelves are not just there for show. The hooks keep my spatulas and scraper within reach, and the paper towel holder is more useful than I expected because I do a lot of quick wipe downs between batches. The four wheels make it easy to move around a patio. On pavers or concrete, I can do it with one hand. On grass, the small casters take a little coaxing, but it is still manageable. The rear grease management system pushes everything to a cup in the back, which keeps the front edge clean and gives me one place to dump waste when I am done. Setup was straightforward. I took my time, followed the diagrams, and put it together alone in under an hour. Nothing felt fussy or misaligned. Seasoning the top went as expected. After a few passes of oil and heat, the surface started to get that deep dark finish that food releases from. The knobs light consistently, and I like that I can hear and feel the burners respond immediately. I hook it to a standard propane tank, and the connection is tucked away, so it does not snag when I move the cart. Heat up time is quick enough to keep me from losing momentum. From cold to a good sear zone takes around 8 to 10 minutes. Each burner is truly independent, which matters more than any spec sheet claim. I can run a ripping hot left zone for searing, a medium center for pancakes, and a low right edge to keep bacon crisp without burning. The Omnivore plate with built-in wind guards does its job. On breezy days, the flames do not blow out, and I do not see the temperature swing I have dealt with on other flat tops. I also noticed I go through a little less fuel than I did with my old griddle. I track propane by feel, not math, and I got through several long breakfasts and a couple of burger nights before I had to swap the tank. What stands out is how even the cooking surface feels under real use. The central area holds heat like a champ. The outer corners are a touch cooler, which I actually use as a resting zone when I need a breather for delicate items. Pancakes cook evenly edge to edge without chasing hot spots, and smash burgers get that caramelized crust while still pulling off cleanly with a firm scraper. When I do a hibachi-style stir-fry, the onions and carrots blister without going limp, and rice stays separate with a nice toast on the bottom. If I push a lot of cold meat onto the griddle at once, I see a small dip in temperature, but the rebound is fast. I can keep batches moving without that frustrating stall that kills timing. My first big test was a Saturday brunch for 8 adults and 4 kids. I ran one zone low for eggs, 2 zones medium for pancakes and hash browns, and 1 zone high for bacon and sausage. I kept a squeeze bottle of oil and a water bottle on the shelf, and I used my scraper to keep the surface tidy between batches. The rear grease system actually helped me stay organized. Everything I pushed back disappeared, and the front edge never turned into a mess. In about 20 minutes I had a full spread, and nothing felt rushed or chaotic. That is where the space actually matters. With around 768 square inches, I can lay out pancakes, eggs, and meat in a grid that makes sense. Another run was a weeknight stir-fry when the wind was being annoying. The built-in wind guards took the edge off, and the flame stayed consistent. I seared sliced sirloin on the hot side, moved it to the warm corner, sautéed vegetables in the center, then tossed rice with a hit of soy and butter. I finished everything together and still had room to toast sesame buns on the low zone as a side. Cleanup was a rinse with warm water, a scrape toward the back, and a light coat of oil while the surface was still warm. Smash burgers have been a highlight. I preheat the left 2 zones high, set the right zones low for toasting buns and melting cheese, and then work in waves. A firm press, a sprinkle of salt, and a 30 to 40-second sear gives me that lacy edge. Flip, finish with cheese, and slide to the warm side. The griddle holds temperature even when I am knocking out a dozen patties. The lack of flare-ups is a relief, and the rear grease channel catches all the runoff so the surface stays consistent. Steak night surprised me. A quick pat dry, a touch of oil, and a high-heat sear on the griddle gave me a deep crust that rivals a cast iron pan. I used the cooler corner as a rest zone and basted with butter in the last minute, which picked up the fond beautifully. I do not get grill marks, obviously, but the all-over browning tastes better to me. Breakfast runs are where I see the sheer capacity shine. I have cooked over 20 pancakes at the same time, flipped them without elbowing pans, and kept eggs and bacon moving alongside. If I pay attention to spacing and keep the scraper clean, nothing sticks. The surface seasoning has only gotten better over time. There are a few quirks. The rear grease cup is small enough that I need to empty it during longer cooks, especially if I am rendering a lot of bacon or using sugary marinades that thicken. When the drain hole picks up bits of food, it slows down and I need to nudge it with the scraper. The shelves are sturdy, but they have a little flex if I lean on them while chopping. The wheels lock well on concrete, but on rough stone they can shimmy a bit when I push hard with the scraper. On colder mornings, I have had one burner not light on the first press, and I just cross-light it from the next zone, which takes a second. The knob markings are a little hard to read at night. I solved that with muscle memory and a small magnetic light on the side, but it is worth noting. A couple of things feel genuinely smart. The wind protection is built into the plate edges, so I do not have to attach or store extra shields. The burner layout gives me true zones instead of a single hot stripe in the middle, which changes how I plan a cook. The rear grease system keeps the work area clear, and because everything exits away from me, I move faster and stay cleaner. The side shelves with the towel and hooks cut down trips back to the kitchen. It sounds small, but during a fast cook that organization keeps me in control. If someone asked how it compares to other big flat tops I have used, I would say this feels like a well-judged balance of power, even heat, and day-to-day practicality. It is not a delicate showpiece. It is a tool I do not have to pamper. I wipe it, oil it, and it is ready for the next meal. The Omnivore plate seems to handle quick temperature changes without warping drama. I have tossed ice water on it after a hot sear to release stuck bits, and it did not complain. Over time, I have settled into a rhythm with it. I preheat while I prep. I stage ingredients on the left shelf. I keep a trash bowl on the right shelf. I work left to right with the hottest zone on the left, and I use the rear channel to sweep away anything that might burn. The speed and the space let me focus on timing and flavor instead of fighting the tool. I think this griddle makes the most sense for someone who actually wants to cook outside often and cook more than one thing at a time. If I only grill a couple of steaks once a month, it is probably overkill. If I host, if I make breakfast spreads, if I crave that diner-level sear on burgers and the ability to transition from sear to simmer without switching cookware, it fits. The minor quirks are easy to live with, and the payoff in control and consistency is real. I will leave all the information about the Blackstone 1554 36-inch Omnivore griddle in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.